All right. All right. So I think we're live, not entirely sure. But yeah, I'll do a little testing on here. Also, okay, cool. Looks like we're live on X. So how's it going, everybody out there in Twitter X world? We're here with my main man, John Snyson, as well.
Red X.
X, yeah, there we go. But anyways, I'm testing this out. We're gonna get into all things Plandemic, so especially if you're watching this on they, them tube, YouTube. Constantly the past 3 years I've been at two strikes, and then every time a video, even though like all my controversial stuff's already been taken off there or what I deem controversial, I haven't posted there in 3 years, and where I'm always basically sitting on two strikes. Now, you know what? I'm gonna post in here for a little bit, but then we're gonna be moving off to other platforms. So I know someone commented like, "Oh, this just sounds like an advertisement to get on Rumble." You know what? It's an advertisement to get anywhere but places that are going to shut you down. So if you want to hear the basic bitch news from people that just talk about parrot what everybody else is saying, then yeah, you can find that on YouTube. If you want to hear actual analysis for people that were out there on the front lines having actual hardcore stances on things that later then proved true, then you can come find us over on X at Advisor Liberty. You can find me over on Rumble at if you search the Liberty Advisor, also on Odyssey, same thing as well. And then I am getting a thing where it's showing that there's a problem trying to connect to Rumble right now. And then also the other one would be Rockfin. So let me see what's going on with Rumble. But John, you got anything for the PG segment of the show you'd like to say to the people while I'm trying to figure out what's going on with Rumble, and then we'll cut the stream and get into the stuff that the censors wouldn't want us talking about. So
yeah, no, there's lots of interesting things. I think we're going to talk a little bit about things that happen from 2019 to about 2022 when it really kind of fizzled out. But there's going to be a lot of interesting things we're going to get into. Oh,
you can keep talking.
yeah, okay, interesting. Yeah, so like it'll be very interesting things that we're gonna try to make some connections on what could have been, like where did things come from and all this stuff. So I think you'll be very interested in taking a look at what me and Tim's views are on what happened and how we kind of dealt with that period of time. And it's quite interesting because where I was, it was pretty intense. The actual events that happened during the lockdown. So you'll get some interesting tidbits of information. A lot of me and Tim's views on what we think really went on, because it's there's a lot of things that are a little bit off of it being just like a natural occurring event. So I think you'd be very curious to want to hear a lot of our thoughts, and there's a lot of insights. I remember calling, I was listening to the local radio station and gotten into arguments with them, and there's literal handlers that sits there and takes all the information in, and then they bash me for like sharing like real-time information and real data and real facts. And so it's pretty funny to see like how bad actually mainstream media was directly with censoring things during that time. So it's really a lot of interesting things. And then of course me and Tim, we have some pretty serious thoughts about why it really happened. And because it's interesting, it seems to that certain things happen like right after or before, in this case, big financial events. There's just certain events that just tends to like come into existence, and then people tend to lose focus from the important event to the major event that happens. So yeah, there's a lot of that we can talk about. So I think it would be a very interesting conversation to have, and lots of things to discuss, because there's so much things happening during that time. And just this share coordination, I think it was during that time, was very, very interesting. It was quite well coordinated, and then if you didn't just watch like your local news or your national news, you watch international news, you'd be like, oh shoot, like this is actually like looking like everybody's following a script. around the world. So yeah, quite interesting things happen, and of course, a lot of us, we stood up and we took a stance and got vilified by a lot of people, but it's definitely worth it on the backside to actually have morals and standards when it comes to it was a good test, of that as well, I think, and so I really liked it. Even though it was a disgusting time, it was good test, to what I would consider, like do I actually have the morals and standards that I should, in order to believe that I could be my own person and don't need any government structures to control me. So yeah, I found that was very good, Tim, and really thought it was an interesting time. I think it's a trail balloon. That was, see how far we could take it, they had their own meetings and talking about it before time, they had their um event to one there that they did and so on. So it's very interesting to see what their thoughts were. And then you saw it actually playing out. Like I watched the whole 6 hour video, not just the little highlight reel thing that they put together. So they talked about a lot of interesting things, and a lot of it trickled into most of it actually trickled into what then become the lockdowns and so on. So very, very interesting, Tim.
Cool. No, thanks for sharing. So we right now, I think I got things going on Rumble. Not sure. So X Advisor Liberty is for sure working right now, and we're going to get into a lot of the things we think are going on. But I also it looks like I'm trying to see if Odyssey is working. So that is ODYSEE.com. I know that it looked like it was working yesterday on here, so hopefully everything is all good with that. I know Rumble, for whatever reason, even though, see, the only thing I did different than yesterday is I was going out to the main actual channel that had, let's see, it's like ready to share, monetize live stream. I'm trying to see if this one that we're currently doing. Okay, you know what? Okay, good. So it looks like we're live on Rumble, we're live on X, Odyssey. I'm gonna go check that out right now to see if we're actually live on Odyssey as well. And if you're having trouble stream, and not entirely sure. This might be something on the back end. I see yesterday's was up there, at least the first half of it. So if you're having trouble starting a stream, or if your stream shows that you're live but aren't, try a reset. Okay, here we go. I guess with reset stream, successfully reset. Okay, so this is the great reset over here on Odyssey. Let's see if
The Great Reset.
we're going live on that one. And you know what? Let me see. Let me go back into restream, and I might have to maybe if I cut that. Okay, unable to connect. So let me disconnect, reconnect. And if you're watching this on the replay, you guys can fast forward. If you're watching it on one of the enemy channels like YouTube, you can just, yeah, Odyssey. Okay, sending data. So okay, let me see on that if it's working again. And okay, I think it's funny because I think it's showing like an old. Okay, it's showing I think like an old live, it says live stream in progress. So,
Oh, yeah.
but I think it's showing an old petrodollar collapse on there. Okay, yep, it is showing that. So, not sure why it's not going underneath. Okay, and Arthur Diamondham, what is up, Arthur Diamond?
Oh,
And I need to
Arthur.
figure out what's going on. So this is part of the reason why we're testing. Is you don't know how things are going to work until you're going live. Now, typically I would go live through OBS, but I was having a problem going out to multiple places in OBS because somehow Josh's email got associated with my account, and I haven't gotten hold of Josh to figure out that. So then this is now going through on Zoom to go still access all my video switchers, and somehow, John, do you want to start talking for a little bit, and I've got to get that camera working
Yeah.
again.
Oh, there's magic.
Yeah,
It starts
magic. But
working.
I think if I one way
Yeah.
to reset that is if I go in there, put in a one of the SD cards, and then I go and click records, and I think that will prevent it from shutting off.
Oh, okay.
I'm
I
not
gotcha.
sure why
Yeah,
that's
that
the
might.
case, but
Yeah, that might be a shut up thing. Oh, there we go
okay,
again.
yeah. Let me just go
So,
back. I'll manually go turn it on. But if you keep talking, the people
Yeah.
will be able to hear you. So
yeah, exactly. No, so yeah, no, it's as I said, it's been an interesting years, since I remember me and Tim, we actually did start to cover things before things really started to run down. We were like right at the cusp. I forgot how like exactly when we started. Tim will fill us in. He remembers on that. But we got started with like really like I started to see and watch in September. There was a lot of events that was starting to occur. You had a big like massive blow up where repurchase opera like so repo the repo market.
Let's save some of that for the actual once we get
Okay, so
into the main meat and potatoes. This is sort of just
getting ready.
This is sort of
Coming.
warming people up. And nothing warms people up like talking about reverse repo operations. I know that gets all the juices flowing. At least it probably does for Arthur Diamond Hands. But thank you, thank you, Dolly, for letting us know that you can hear us live on there. The other issue we're having, it should be good now. Because what I did, I found a way to like override the setting if I just like click record. Okay, cool. So yeah, looks like we're live on Rumble. We're live on X. I can't find where we're live on X. And let's see, we've got the YouTube channels that we're going to be cutting here very soon. And then, I forgot to have my X account actually up here. And I've been like really, really holding off on trying to join X, but
Well,
it's not because I trust it. It's not an endorsement of it. But for now, let's see what they'll get us, what we can get away with while we're
well,
on there.
Tim, let me tell you something about YouTube right now because I actually put my new show, I it started uploading on YouTube and I haven't heard anything, but I have a slight little feeling that it has to do with I'm just tiny little speck on the YouTube channel spectrum right now. So I've been just like bashing everything I says of myself on YouTube on because it was just a channel that I had and I never done anything with it. So I was like, oh, I might as well just like try and see how far like it seems like they won't come after you until you're like a little bit big, and then they'll be like, yeah, no,
Well, then I don't know. Then if you're really big, you're on like the Rogan, Tim Pool level, then
yeah,
all of a sudden like you're big enough where they can't really touch you,
yeah,
or somehow Luke ends up getting a channel that it is never taken down, but it was goes to show. And again, my channel is still up there, but I started it in 2016, right as everything's getting shadow banned and hard to grow. So we're gonna cut the feed from those channels, like I mentioned before. Now we're going to get into the more hardcore stuff, coming from a guy where literally predicting everything down from the very get-go. And so they're going to roll this out again. We need to be making sure communication is about 90% of all warfare. So
yeah,
if you want to stay connected to actual information from people that were giving you our honest opinion what was going on and then ended up being right. I mean, because there's a whole bunch of people, all the mams out there, all the mainstream alternative media that were acting like a bunch of what's the entire time. And then now they want to be the arbiters of truth for everything. And it's just so annoying seeing all these people that were so wrong and everything that now all of a sudden they're the main arbiters of truth. They're the new
and they're the ones
vanguard.
being pushed as well.
Yeah,
Like
they're being
that's it.
pushed, and even some people that I respect now are even pushing them as well. So it's a little bit disheartening, but we're going to cut that stream from change the news channel. If you guys weren't happy what was being said by the other co-host on that channel, and you were more interested in what I was saying, then I'm going to be posting again. I took a little hiatus to actually clear my mind to be able to get myself set up on a homestead and do the things that we need to do to make sure that we can thrive and survive. But we're not here to fearmonger, not here to keep everyone on this carousel bullshit where you can never get off and it's always about voting harder and let's have the best political show to go concentrate all of our energy, all of our attention, all of our money into things that ultimately don't matter. So we want to
Yeah.
talk about things that matter, actual solutions. So we'd be delighted if you want to join us over at the other channels that we mentioned, Advisor Liberty on X, because my Liberty Advisor one got taken down. So meanwhile, while I'm getting taken down, hardly ever even having posted on X and not being a big Twitter user historically, then you've got Luke, who is like up until a week ago was literally getting followed by Elon Musk. So one of us getting kicked off, the other one's getting followed by Elon. So which one do you think is the one that you'd want to follow? Unless you still want to believe in politics and you want to believe in, the tooth
And
fairy,
I also
Santa
saw that
Claus.
Elon is super political now too. He's starting to push a lot of politics. Border. I see like border, border, border. Like a lot of his posts right now, and so it's interesting that the political game is back on. It's the most important election in the world. Today,
It's
which
always
the
the most
last one
important, always the
was
most
yeah.
important election in the world. So, I mean, when has it ever not been the most important election of our lifetimes? It's always been, but anyways, we're going to cut this now. Join us on the other channels. We're going to start getting into the real hardcore analysis of what was really going on. And I can assure you that this is going to be more hardcore than most of the information you're going to find, because I know I can't even say it on here. But anyways, we'll go right now to those other channels. And thank you guys in advance for joining us.